Anybody got any questions, jokes, comments, or criticisms?
Did your mother recover from that horrible accident enough to carry on her life?
She did. She was able to walk, and she took care of her 2 boys, which was her job. She had horrible pain for the rest of her life, and because it's it's a very serious accident. But also, it was inspiration. My mom was 5 foot tall if she lied about it. She was really 4'11", but she lied about it. You know, she always said she was 5 foot, and I think that may have been the reason that she had all that high hair. Always had a beehive, you know, piled up, so it made her look taller. But yes, she did. She survived, and she was alive when my second book came out, and she died shortly after that.
What did she think of your book?
She loved. The bad thing was my mom was the reader in the family, but she had gotten so sick when I was visiting that she couldn't read the book, and it just so happens that 24/7 came out as a book on tape. And so Dad read the book, and then he listened to the book with Mom as she listened to it on tape. And so she loved the book. But Mom liked anything I did. When I was on the radio, if I were to accidentally, I never did this, but if I were to accidentally leave the microphone open and burp, you know, my dad would just bust me. Hey, boy, you shouldn't have been doing that. My mom would have said, but it sounded good. You know? So she was very supportive. I have 3 other books that are written now, and I'm working on a 4th one. And the reason my books haven't come out is because right after Black Valley came out, my dad took seriously ill and passed away. I didn't know it, but that day that he read the dedication in our kitchen, I was going to be there another 4 weeks. But when I said goodbye at the end of that 4 weeks, that'd be the last time I saw him alive. So one of my last memories of my dad is one of my absolute favorite memories of my dad. And then right after he died, Mom took sick. And it took her, she lingered for a couple of years, and then she passed. And and then my agent's wife got sick, and I had to switch agents. And so I've been writing the whole time, so I've got quite a complement of books ready to go. It's just we need to get them into the chute and get them out. And because my plan was to try to have a book come out one every 6 months. And I was with Ballantine for the first 2 books, but they only let you publish 1 book a year. And I wanted to publish more than that, because I have the inventory, and I'll produce the inventory, I think. And when I like readers, I really like, when I read something I like, I want to read more of the books. And I want to see how the writer grows. So I'm looking to get a situation where I can do that and publish more.
Did you do the reading on the book on tape? Are you
No,
the reader?
I didn't.
Should have.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm actually a little hoarse now, but I do have a big mouth. I had thought about it. But around then was when Mom got sick, and I had to go back to Georgia, and then I just kind of put it out of I haven't listened to the book on tape. My brother, who is my opposite in almost every way, I can't do anything around the house. My brother is an electrician, and just big, soft-hearted. He listened to it on tape and didn't like the music, so he wrote a theme for 24/7. And when I go home, he'll play, and he used to play it for my mama before she died. And it's real pretty. But so if we ever get the movie made, I doubt I'll have enough clout to get, but I'll at least try to see if they'll use my brother's theme song.
Do you have the books for sale here in Hanford, or no? Like the bookstore?
We have some back here.
Or do you sell them all around the...
Yes, they've been in all the bookstores. They're not out right now because it's been a while since the books come out. So you probably can't find them at Barnes and Nobles and Borders, but they were sold in all the bookstores at the time when they came out, and sold in several languages. In fact, we didn't know Black Valley was sold in Russian, and my old agent, they sent them to him, and he sent, just 2 weeks ago, we got a bunch of books, and he goes, I don't know what language it is. And it just so happens my doctor used to read Russian. He was a language major, so I took it into him. And so he was able to read it and tell me what the cover said, and which is kind of fun. It's kind of odd seeing those things, but it's really quite exciting.
Are you trying other genres?
I'm working on, I'm self-taught with a lot of stuff, and so I tend to be a pendulum from one side to the other. Black Valley was scary, and I was very influenced by Dean Koontz when I was writing that book, and so it's very much in that vein. And so a lot of people really like that. Black Valley is the one that has the movie deal. Steven Susko, who wrote a movie called The Grudge, is supposed to be writing the screenplay Mosaic, who produced a number of movies, 13 Monkeys, Elf. They're supposed to be producing. I say supposed to be because last I heard they was having a spat, and Hollywood is just, I'd rather just write my books and let my film agent deal with those guys. But my other books are of differing genre. One is called The Eighth Escape, and it deals with the belief that in magic there are 7 basic escapes, from bounds and air and water. But some magicians believe there was an 8th and greatest escape. Harry Houdini believed this, and that's the escape from death. And not from the perceived death, but the actual medical death, and with no help whatsoever. So it's called The Eighth Escape. But the book's about a boy with an eidetic memory, a photographic memory, level 12, highest ever tested, who was kidnapped as a kid, and he escaped. Now he's a grown man, and he'd love to be a magician, but he's too shy, so he makes magic tricks for other people. But his real job is being an accountant, but he still loves magic. But he remembers everything he's ever seen in his life, everything. Well, come to find out, something he saw when he was a kid is worth billions of dollars and millions of life, and people are trying to get it back. So suddenly he's involved in this massive chase, and it requires him and the female lead named Paige Halifax and Hayes, to get out an increasingly number of difficult situations, in other words, escape. In fact, in that book I had a scene where all they had to do was, Paige and Hayes, all they had to do was walk out of the house. So they go to walk out of the house, and all of a sudden Hayes says, as I'm typing, "Wait, it's a trap." I go, "What?" And it's not a trap, we got to go to the next chapter. And he goes,